You're with her. The conversation slows. A pause settles in. And something inside you panics. Say something, anything. Fill the gap. So you do. You start talking. About nothing really. Just sound. Just movement. Just noise. And you watch it happen in real time. She shifts slightly. Her energy pulls back. Something changes. You talked more. And she became less interested. Here's what no one tells you. The more you fill silence, the less space she has to want you. Words are easy. Silence takes nerve, and nerve is exactly what she's looking for. Let's reframe everything you think about communication. Talking is revealing. Every sentence you add is a card placed face up on the table. Your anxieties, your need for approval, your uncertainty, all of it audible. Silence is withholding, not coldly, not passively, strategically. Silence says, I don't need to perform for you. That's not arrogance, that's presence. Communication is not about volume. It's not about who speaks more or covers more topics. It's about impact. One sentence delivered with weight lands harder than 10 minutes of filler. Once you understand this, the way women perceive you shifts immediately. Not because you became someone different, because you stopped giving everything away. We've been taught to lie. That connection requires constant verbal exchange. That silence means something is wrong. That if you go quiet, she'll lose interest. So men talk. They fill every gap, explain every thought, cover every uncomfortable pause with more words, and they wonder why the attraction fades. Here's what's actually happening. Over-talking signals need. It signals that you require her engagement to feel okay, that the silence makes you uncomfortable, and you need her to fix it. Neediness is not attractive, in any form. Now here's the reframe. When a man is silent, most people assume he lacks confidence. That's the wrong read. Controlled silence is confidence, without pressure. It says, I'm comfortable here. Are you? Compare two men. One talks constantly, jokes, stories, commentary, chasing her attention like it might disappear. The other listens fully, speaks when he has something to say, holds the pause without flinching. One is performing, the other is present. She feels the difference before she can explain it. Attraction is not logic, it's tension. Words release tension. The moment you explain, justify, clarify, you dissolve the charge in the air. Silence builds it. Think about sustained eye contact with no words. The room narrows. Time slows slightly. Something pulls between two people. That pull, that's what you're working with. The moment you speak to ease that discomfort, it's gone. Words puncture the moment. Silence holds it. She starts investing mentally, trying to read you, trying to figure out what you're thinking. The more she invests in decoding you, the more attached she becomes. You didn't chase. She leaned in. Silence is uncomfortable, especially for people who haven't trained themselves to sit in it. When you hold silence, she fills it. She starts talking more. She reveals more. She starts asking questions about you. She starts qualifying herself to you. Without realizing it, she's made herself the one pursuing the connection. That's the inversion. The one who talks less controls the interaction. Not through aggression, not through games, simply through withholding the constant reassurance most men offer freely. When you stop performing, she starts wondering. And wondering is the beginning of interest. Most men react. Someone pauses. They fill it. She seems distracted. They try harder. The energy dips. They overcorrect. They are constantly calibrating to her emotional state, constantly adjusting, seeking signals, chasing equilibrium. A calm, silent man does none of that. He's not reacting to the gap. He's not performing for her approval. He doesn't need verbal confirmation that things are going well. That is emotional self-sufficiency, and it is extraordinarily rare, which is why it lands so hard. The contrast is stark. One man is asking, silently, constantly, "Am I okay?" The other man already knows he is. She doesn't have to tell him. He's not waiting for her to. Over-explaining kills mystery. Every time you justify a decision she didn't ask about, every time you overshare to seem relatable, every time you keep talking after you've already made your point, you are reducing your perceived value. Not dramatically, not all at once, but steadily, incrementally. Because talking too much reveals the insecurity underneath. It shows you need her to understand you, that her approval matters enough to keep explaining. Silence preserves ambiguity, and ambiguity creates intrigue. When she can't fully read you, when there's something just slightly withheld, she stays curious. Curiosity keeps her engaged far longer than any story you could tell. Let's be direct. You know you do this. Under pressure, under social discomfort, under the weight of a quiet moment, you talk. Not because you have something important to say, because silence exposes you. It strips away the social mask, the performance, the persona you've built to navigate rooms. Silence forces you to just be there. And most men are terrified of just being there. So they escape. Into words, into humor, into stories, into anything that fills the space and delays the discomfort. But that escape is exactly what she's watching. Every time you break the silence to manage your own anxiety, she sees it, not consciously maybe, but she feels it. And what she feels is, he can't hold still. The man who can hold still, in discomfort, in tension, in silence, is the man who seems like he's actually in control. Start here. This is the foundational skill. She finishes a sentence. Don't respond immediately. Hold her gaze. Let the moment breathe. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3. Don't fill it. Don't smile to break the tension. Don't look away to manage the discomfort. Just be there. It will feel unnatural at first. It should. Discomfort means you're rewriting a pattern. What she experiences on the other end, a man who is fully present, a man not chasing her approval, a man who can hold space without needing to perform inside it. That's presence. And presence is magnetic. Speed is anxiety. A fast answer signals you are waiting to answer, that the silence was too uncomfortable to let breathe. Slow down. When she asks you something, pause before you respond. Not dramatically, not rudely. Just enough for the answer to feel considered, chosen, intentional. That micro pause adds weight to everything you say. It tells her, I think before I speak. It tells her, I'm not scrambling to impress you. And it tells her something even more important. I'm not afraid of this silence. That combination, presence, pause, calm, is more attractive than any clever line you could deliver instantly. Precision over volume. Most men use 20 words to say what could be said in 5. They add context that wasn't asked for. They explain after they've already been understood. They circle back to make sure it landed. Cut all of it. Say the thing. Stop. Let it exist in the air without adding to it. There is an art to the short, clean sentence. It lands with more force precisely because there's nothing around it to dilute it. Sharp communication doesn't just seem more confident. It is more confident because it doesn't need the extra scaffolding. The man who says less but means every word gets listened to more carefully because she has to. You're not giving her excess to skim. This is a specific, trainable skill. Say something that matters. Then stop. Don't add to it. Don't soften it. Don't follow it immediately with something lighter to release the tension. Let it land. Silence after a strong statement amplifies it. It gives the words room to settle. It shows you meant what you said. And don't need to walk it back. This applies in flirting, in serious moments, in teasing, in directness, in any moment where you've said something real. Speak, stop, hold. The silence becomes part of the message. When silence appears naturally in a conversation, let it stay. Don't rush to fix it. Don't generate a new topic. Don't make a joke to reset the energy. Just let it exist. What happens when you do? She steps in, every time. And when she steps in, she's doing the work. She's driving the interaction. She's investing. The power has shifted, not through any tactic, simply because you were comfortable enough to let the silence breathe. And she wasn't. Awkwardness only feels awkward if you fight it. When you accept it, it becomes control. One clarification that matters. Silence without presence is not power, it's just absence. If you're quiet but checked out, looking away, closed off, disengaged, that's not controlled silence. That's dead silence. And dead silence is just avoidance. The silence we're talking about is full of presence. Eye contact that stays steady. Body language that stays open. Attention that is completely on her. Just not performed through words. That's the distinction. You are completely there. You just don't need to narrate it. Silence paired with presence sends a signal that words cannot. I'm with you. I just don't need to prove it. This is not a tactic you apply in the moment. Tactics collapse under pressure. When things get real, you default to what you actually are. So the work isn't learning to use silence strategically. The work is becoming a man who is genuinely comfortable in it. That means sitting with silence in your own life. Not rushing to fill every moment with sound. Not reaching for your phone the second discomfort appears. Not performing for invisible audiences. The more you practice stillness internally, the more it shows up naturally externally. You stop performing. You start observing. You start choosing what to say, when to say it, and what to leave unsaid. Women feel this shift immediately, not because you said something different, because you became something different. This goes beyond women. This goes beyond dating. In any group, the man who speaks least is often heard most. Think about it. The person who jumps into every gap, fills every pause, comments on everything. People stop really listening. The person who stays quiet until they have something worth saying. When they speak, the room shifts slightly. People lean in. Because it's rare. You stop competing for attention. Attention comes to you. That is social authority, and it's built entirely through the discipline of knowing when not to speak, because you're addicted to filling space, not consciously, not deliberately, but every time silence appears, your nervous system treats it as a problem to solve. Silence forces self-awareness. You can't hide in noise. You have to be with yourself and with her, with nothing between you. That exposure is terrifying for most men, so they keep talking. And that's exactly why silence works, because most men can't do it. The ones who can stand out immediately, not through anything they said, through everything they chose not to. Two archetypes. The man who talks to be accepted. He fills every silence, covers every gap, performs constantly, adjusting, chasing, hoping she'll decide he's enough. And she never quite does. The man who is silent and gets chosen. He's present without noise. He holds space without filling it. He doesn't need her to confirm what he already knows about himself. And she feels that certainty and moves toward it. Silence is not absence. Silence is presence. Without need. Stop filling space. Stop performing for approval that should already be yours. Start holding silence like a man who's earned the right to it. Next time there's silence between you, don't break it. Let it work.